All right, hello, and welcome to this training. What we're going to be talking about today is how to change your life in 7 days. We'll cover procrastination, awareness, planning, action, identity, commitment, execution, the review, and your action items. This might be a longer one, so let's get started right away and talk about procrastination. Most people keep their life on pause. They wait for the right day, the perfect mood, or some external green light that never really comes. That habit of postponing is the silent killer of transformation because it gives you the illusion that you're preparing while you're really doing nothing. The truth is, there's never a perfect moment. The longer you stall, the heavier the inertia grows. Perfection is a trap. You think you're being wise by waiting until you feel ready. But readiness is a byproduct of action, not a prerequisite. Readiness arrives after you've already moved, not before. If you don't start, the fear of starting only multiplies. The moment you act, the fear dissolves, because movement itself makes you stronger. No champion, no creator ever began with certainty. They began with motion and let clarity reveal itself through the process. You've trained yourself to hide behind reasons. I'll start when the timing is better. I'll act when I feel inspired. Each of these is a lie disguised as logic. You are just scared to leap, and so you decorate your hesitation with excuses. Strip your excuses down to their bones, and you'll find fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of rejection. Instead of treating those fears as stop signs, recognize them as the fuel. Fear is proof you're on the edge of something that actually matters to you. The cost of waiting is compounding paralysis. Action is the only solvent for stagnation. Even small movement begins to untangle the knots in your mind. So begin with the smallest possible action. Open the document, pick up the phone, lace the shoes, write the first sentence. That first step shifts you from idle to alive. The first step is never about scale. It's always just about direction. Once momentum kicks in, it drags bigger actions into your orbit. Tomorrow is not safer than today. You think you're buying time by waiting, but time is buying you instead, charging interest on every hour you waste. Start now, because later has a habit of turning into never. Recognize that doing nothing is not neutral. Stillness is not rest, it's rot. Depression and doubt don't come from working too hard. They come from standing still for too long. Work creates inspiration, not the other way around. Motion creates emotion. You don't wait for motivation, you summon it by doing the work. The more you move, the less room fear has to live inside you. It gets crowded out by momentum. Every day you have two paths: wait or act. Waiting gives you more of the same. Acting opens a door to the unknown. The decision is never about ability. It's always about courage. Stop pretending you're powerless. Every second you spend waiting, you're making a decision to keep your life small. The second you act, you regain control. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start being a creator of outcomes. Realize that no one is really coming to save you. Don't let your brain trick you into staying in the same place because it's afraid of change. Refuse to wait. Reframe the anxiety of the unknown as excitement. Anxiety and excitement actually feel the same in our body. Internalize this, and you'll find yourself suddenly excited about the future and the unknown rather than worried about it. Once you refuse to wait, the next step is to figure out exactly what you're working with right now. You can't map a path forward if you don't know where you're standing. This is the phase of brutal clarity, awareness. Awareness is not about judging yourself harshly. It's about holding up a mirror with enough courage to see the truth without filters or excuses. Most people skip this step because it's uncomfortable. But without it, every plan you make will rest on sand. Awareness begins with brutal honesty. Stop lying to yourself about where you're really at. Admit exactly what's working and exactly what isn't. The more precise you are, the faster you can actually pivot. Ask yourself, where are you at? What have you been avoiding? What is actually holding you back? Emotions can blur reality, but numbers always cut through the fog. Start tracking your sleep, your income, your time usage, and even your energy levels. This gives you proof of what's actually happening, not just what you feel like is happening. What gets measured gets improved. You could track your health numbers, sleep, Weight, strength. Your wealth numbers, income, expenses, investments. Your love numbers, connections made, time spent with family. In your self numbers, meditation time, pages read, happiness rating. The data isn't meant to shame you. It's there to give you feedback. Start confronting the truth about your body, the one you're living in right now. Health is the foundation on which everything else rests. Audit your sleep, your food, your movement, and your recovery. Your health is the vehicle that carries you to every goal you'll ever have. Wealth. Money is energy in material form. It's about freedom to choose your path and build a life on your own terms. Look at your finances without flinching. Taking responsibility doesn't mean it's your fault, but it does mean it's your job to fix it. Money is a tool. Until you know why you want money, you'll always find ways to spend it without purpose. Love. Connection doesn't come to the idle. It finds the active. Waiting until you feel ready to love is a lie. Readiness comes from stepping into the arena, risking rejection, and allowing yourself to be seen. Love grows from presence and investment, not from hesitation and distance. The shield that blocks pain also blocks intimacy. Self. Stop waiting to love yourself until you've achieved more. Self-respect begins today in how you treat your body, how you talk to yourself, and how seriously you take your own life. Every time you choose to wait, you tell yourself that your future doesn't matter. Every time you choose to start now, you declare that you are worthy of effort and progress. When you strip away the lies, you are left with a clear view of your position. You have your coordinates. Clarity is not about judging yourself as good or bad. It's about diagnosing the reality so you can actually apply the right medicine. Ask someone you trust for feedback. It's better to be cut by the truth than killed by denial. You have the data. You have your starting point. You stopped waiting. Now we move to the next phases: planning, action, and execution. You are worthy of effort and progress. Your immediate action item. Find the 3 most important metrics in your life right now. 1 for health, 1 for wealth, and 1 for self, and write down their current numbers. This is your baseline. You can't always see your own blind spots, but you need to know what's there. When you have the full, honest picture, you can finally design actions that actually solve problems instead of running from them. Breaking the addiction to waiting is a decision you make in a single moment. The moment you say, "I don't care if it's perfect. I'm going anyway." The first taste of progress is addictive in the best possible way. Each time you act despite hesitation, you build thicker skin. What used to paralyze you becomes ordinary. Now that you've stopped waiting and faced the truth about your current reality, it's time for the blueprint. Waking up one day saying, "I want to change my life," without a plan is like setting out to cross the ocean with no map, no compass, and no supplies. You'll drift, you'll get frustrated, and eventually you'll give up. Planning gives direction, creates momentum, and turns overwhelming goals into digestible actions. Every effective plan has 3 moving parts: what you need to learn, what you need to do, and how you're going to combine them. Without all 3, your plan will collapse. You must identify the skills, knowledge, and frameworks you're missing. If you don't know how to eat for your body, sell a product, or build a better relationship, you'll keep slamming into the same walls. Your plan must include filling those knowledge gaps. All the knowledge in the world means nothing if you're not applying it. Every skill has to be backed up with real practice, real reps, and real feedback. Plans fail when they're too big, too vague, or too intimidating. Breaking them into small, non-negotiable steps is how you protect yourself from burnout. Every journey of growth cycles through 3 stages, and your plan needs to cover each one. Stage 1, acquisition. This is where you read, listen, study, and absorb. But don't fall into the trap of being a professional learner who never leaves the classroom. Knowledge without action just feeds your ego. Stage 2, application. You implement relentlessly. You don't need a perfect system. You just need consistent repetitions. 1,000 small actions will change you faster than one perfectly thought-out strategy you never execute. You need 100 average days, not 100 perfect days. Stage 3, synergy. This is where things click. You learn while doing, and you do while learning. You get feedback in real time, adjust on the fly, and your growth compounds because both sides feed each other. The smartest plans don't attack everything at once. They identify the biggest domino, the one move that knocks down 10 other problems in the process. When you focus on that domino, you collapse resistance and accelerate results. Look for the single action that, if done consistently, will make most of your other obstacles irrelevant. For example, if you fix your sleep, your energy rises, your mood stabilizes, and your discipline strengthens. One domino, multiple wins. Identify your dominoes and hammer them daily. They become the centerpiece of your plan, the action you refuse to compromise on. A plan is worthless if it isn't clear. Vague intentions like, "I'll get healthier," or "I'll make more money," are dead on arrival. You need specifics. "I'll walk for 45 minutes every morning." "I'll contact 10 prospects a day." The more precise the target, the easier it is to hit. Get granular. When exactly will you do it? Where will you be? How will you track it? Unclear plans lead to unclear action, and unclear action leads to no results. So, begin before you feel ready. The best time to test your plan is today, not after you've polished every detail. The first version of your plan won't be perfect, and it doesn't need to be. Action gives you real-world feedback that no amount of preparation can match. Your plan is not separate from your life. It has to live inside it. If your plan feels like a burden, you will abandon it. The key is to weave it into your identity until it feels natural. Connect your plan to who you are becoming. When the actions feel like they belong to your future self, the resistance disappears. Build your plan for the long term. Extreme bursts of effort burn out quickly, while steady, integrated habits compound into permanent change. Once your plan is sketched out, the next step is simple. Start moving. Without action, your plan is just ink on paper. A plan without movement is just daydreaming on paper. Execution is the moment where fantasy collides with reality and reveals what's real. Depression thrives in idleness. Doubt thrives in stagnation. Fear grows in the cracks of stillness. But when you move, those shadows lose their grip. Action is medicine, and the only side effect is progress. Depression rarely hits in the middle of movement. It creeps in during the empty hours when the mind circles itself endlessly. The more space you leave unoccupied, the more noise anxiety makes. Filling your days with forward action gives your mind less room to poison you. Think back to a time you were fully engaged, building something, working out, locked into a project. In those moments, sadness didn't have space to take root. Action occupied the terrain, and that terrain is your mind. Movement itself creates energy. It doesn't drain you. It generates fuel. Lethargy tells you to stay still, but the only cure for lethargy is movement. Stillness isn't peace when it's laced with avoidance. It's decay dressed up as rest. Fill your life with pursuit, or darkness will fill it for you. There is no neutral option. You don't need to launch into massive action to begin. What matters is just starting. The smallest consistent move carries more weight than the biggest move you never make. A phone call, a page written, a 10-minute workout, all tiny, all powerful. They stack up faster than you think. Don't trick yourself into believing only big actions count. The truth is small, steady moves create exponential results. The giant leaps you admire from others were built on foundations of quiet repetition. Consistency compounds. Progress belongs to the steady. The person who can go through 100 average days will always win against the person who tries to have one perfect week. When you move, you stop worrying about inspiration and motivation. Those things become irrelevant. They show up after you act, not before. By moving first, you summon the very forces you thought you needed in order to start. The longer you wait to execute, the heavier execution becomes. Thinking about an action often creates more resistance than the action itself. Do it fast, before hesitation has the chance to poison your resolve. Train yourself to act in seconds instead of days. The moment you think of the thing you should do, move on it. Even the smallest version. You don't even actually have to walk outside. You can just put on your shoes. That simple motion collapses the wall of resistance. Every time you shrink the gap between decision and movement, you weaken hesitation's grip on you. Action today multiplies in ways waiting never can. Waiting is linear decay. Movement is exponential growth. The opportunity cost of delay is invisible, but it is massive. Remember the concept of the biggest domino. Not all actions are equal. Some are leverage points that knock down dozens of other obstacles. Think about what one move will ripple across your life. Fix your sleep, and your energy, mood, discipline, and focus all rise. Hammer your dominoes every day until they fall. Discipline is not about doing 1,000 things. It's about a few crucial things done relentlessly. Action will always meet friction. Fear, self-doubt, fatigue. They try to pull you off course. The mistake is assuming resistance is a signal to stop. It's not. Resistance is proof you're moving forward towards something meaningful. It's confirmation. Comfort never grows you. Resistance always does. You won't eliminate resistance, but you can prepare for it. Create an environment that favors execution. Remove distractions. Set yourself up so the right action is the easiest one. Routines exist to make action automatic. If training is scheduled, it becomes as normal as brushing your teeth. The most powerful way to sustain action is to anchor it in who you believe you are. When you see yourself as someone who executes, action stops being an effort and starts being automatic. Identity is what makes the hard things easy. Ask yourself, who is the type of person that does what I need to do? The moment you decide you're a runner, you don't try to run, you just run. The moment you decide you're disciplined, you embody it. Action gets you started, but identity keeps you going. The real game isn't about forcing behavior. It's about becoming the person for whom that behavior feels natural. Identity cuts deeper than goals or routines. Goals are about what you want. Routines are about what you do. Identity is about who you are. Instead of constantly pushing, you shape yourself into someone who doesn't experience that resistance. See yourself as the athlete, the investor, the builder. Identity grows stronger every time you cast a vote for the person you want to become. One workout is a vote for being fit. One disciplined decision is a vote for being financially powerful. You don't need a landslide every day. You just need a majority over time. The hardest part of identity work is letting go of the old version of yourself. Notice the language you use. Are you still calling yourself lazy or unlucky? Those words are anchors. Start declaring who you are becoming, because language leads thought, thought leads behavior, and behavior locks in identity. Finally, identity is shaped by what surrounds you. Identity transfer happens through proximity. Surround yourself with those who embody the identity you're building. If you can't do it physically, use the power of the internet, books, courses, and communities to surround yourself digitally. Once identity is secured, there's only one question left. Will you commit all the way? Everything you've built so far means absolutely nothing if you refuse to cross the final threshold. Commitment. Most people live in the twilight zone of half commitment. They dabble, always keeping one foot in and one foot out, and that guarantees mediocrity. True change requires you to burn the safety net. It's either 100% or it's nothing. Half commitment is simply disguised avoidance. It allows you to hide by saying, I wasn't really trying. The irony is that half commitment is more painful than full commitment because you never get the rewards of going all in, but you always carry the guilt of knowing you could have done more. Commitment demands clarity of destination. You're not just committing to effort. You're committing to a vision so vivid it drags you forward when your willpower fails. Write down your ultimate vision in detail. Commitment also costs you. You can't commit to everything. You must ruthlessly cut distractions, comforts, and easy outs. Real commitment means saying no 1,000 times for every yes. You trade comfort for growth and instant pleasure for long-term victory. Commitment isn't a feeling. It is a locked-in decision, regardless of mood or circumstance. Discipline is the expression of that commitment in daily action. When you're committed, discipline stops being negotiable. The greatest reward of commitment isn't external achievement. It's internal peace. You give your best without holding back. No matter the outcome, You can stand tall because you know you didn't betray yourself. Attack your biggest postponed task. Write down everything you've avoided and strike one thing off. Inventory the 4 pillars: health, wealth, love, and self. Write down the raw, unfiltered facts of where you stand, your actual energy, your actual bank account, the state of your relationships. Map one domino action in each pillar. Example: sleep 8 hours, health; do one income-producing activity, wealth; connect meaningfully with one person, love; spend 20 minutes reading, self. Put the plan into motion without hesitation. Focus on consistency over perfection. Stack small wins. Stop trying and start being. Write out, I'm the type of person who, and act from that place. Clean your desk. Prep your meals. Adjust your environment to reflect the new you. Eliminate your escape routes. Identify the distractions, vices, or safety nets that let you slip, and cut at least one today. Remove every easy exit. Lock it in. Write down your non-negotiable habits and standards moving forward. Lock your domino actions in as daily practice. Thanks for watching. Let's see you on the next video.